It's going good. Just getting into the swing of the things. Had a couple meets already, so we're team's looking good and just ready for the real part of the season to start rolling.
I know kind of that real. I mean, you got Creston coming up right around the corner. I mean, obviously that's a big one. Is that kind of your early measuring stick for you in this team?
Yeah, for sure. We need to put on a good show against Creston, and especially this weekend at the Council Bluffs Classic too. That'll show us how we are as a tournament team, and then straight into a big duel the following Tuesday. So those two things should be a huge measure for the team.
So what's that Council Bluffs Classic? I know that's been going on for a few years. I know you've been in it before, but I mean, a lot of kids I'm sure you don't get to see very often. How do you go about trying to make sure you're ready to go for a big 2-day thing like that?
Yeah, for sure. It has a bunch of teams all over the state of Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, I think maybe a couple Missouri schools, but it just gives us a bunch of kids that we might not ever see again, so it's just go out and wrestle your match and get ready for tough matches later on in the year.
You were fifth last year at state. What's kind of been the goals taking from that to getting you ready to go for this season?
Just winning it this year, no doubt. There's nothing that I'd want more than that right now.
Well, I know you've had a busy offseason. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I mean, what's that going to take to go? I mean, what have you worked on to make sure you're that much better this year?
Just everything between wrestling, conditioning, mental, physical, everything, just a whole better wrestler.
And then also team-wise, I mean, you guys are state rated to start the year. I mean, you're not the only state qualifier coming back by any stretch. I mean, what's this team capable of this year?
Top 3 at state, for sure.
I mean, can you guys do state duels as well? I mean, are you looking in that regard too?
Mm-hmm. Both, top 3. Yeah, actually, my dad was a big one. He wrestled when he was in high school here at Glenwood.
Okay.
And just growing up with my dad wrestling, and I just got into it. He was my coach and had a couple other little kids coaches putting me up through middle school and into high school.
Was there a point where you kind of realized, hey, I can be pretty good at this, or was it just from the beginning?
About sophomore year.
Okay.
Really. I mean, I've always been okay, but I've never did anything really state-wise, national-wise, so until about my sophomore year was when I started to peak.
Is there something that clicked there, or?
Just, I don't know, just put together a decent season and found out that I'm capable of reaching my goals.
What's been your memory-wise from, I mean, whenever you want to go, your favorite wrestling memory to this point?
Oh, just everything, the whole experience and all. I mean, you can't really get better than a high school wrestling season. Yeah, I started my freestyle Greco career this summer with it being my first year and wrestling out of a club in Omaha, and we just went through pretty much another whole season up there 3 nights a week, and went through a few tournaments towards the end of the school year into the summer. I had a little break, and then I went to junior duels in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and did all right there and didn't have the greatest, but really saw a little bit more potential since it was just my first year. Wrestled a couple of good kids, and then from there I went to a camp in Iowa City for 10 days straight from there to Fargo, and had a decent tournament at Fargo, but just not what I wanted, but it still showed me that I can get to where I want to be even though it was my first year.
So what's like me, I'm not a big wrestling guy by any stretch, but what's the difference between what you're doing here in your gym, high school, though, what you did in the off-season there wrestling-wise?
This is more of a grind, putting us through 5, 6, 7 days a week throughout the entire season, and whereas during the summer it's two different styles, and it's just 3 nights a week, but we're still getting good workouts.
You mentioned kind of some of those tournaments you didn't quite do as well as you wanted. I mean, was there certain places you got, or was it just go out and wrestle several matches, or how'd that work?
At junior duels, it was just duels between all the different states. I was on Team Iowa, and I think I went 7-3 there between the two styles. And I mean, I feel like I did fairly well. Just wish I could have done a little bit better looking back. I was at junior duels actually. Ryan Morningstar, the assistant coach at Iowa, was one of our coaches, and I had to wrestle a really good kid from Oklahoma, And after that match, I think he really saw a lot of potential. Just I never gave up. I was grinding through the entire match, and he saw that. And then when I was in Iowa City for the camp, he was one of my coaches and let me in with the Hawkeye Wrestling Club, wrestled a couple of their kids at camp, and then went straight from there to Fargo, and he was one of my coaches there too.
So, I mean, was there a certain time to where you committed, or how was that like to where you decided, hey, this is where I'm going?
Yeah, after that, he told me that we'd be in touch, and then about a month or so later, he texted me and asked if I could set up a date to come and visit on campus. So I went up there for my official visit. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember exactly when it was, but yeah, it was during the fall sometime. And went on my official, and within about a month or month and a half is when I made my decision. It feels good. It's going to be tough. I mean, they have a history of putting you through the toughest years of your life, but I think getting through the first few years will be crucial, and by that time I feel like I'm going to climb the ladder a lot, and I mean, whatever happens, happens.
You say you've kind of realized you have more potential with that kind of thing. I mean, is there a certain thing they're having you work on, or is there certain things you're working on to make sure, I mean, not just you realize your goals this year, but you're ready to be a Big Ten wrestler?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an everyday push. I mean, you have to come into every single day with the work ethic and motto that you're going to get better, and by the end of the day you have to realize if you reach that or not, and if not, then you just wasted a day. So you just have to push every day to its full potential.
What's that? I mean, going to Iowa again, I mean, they had the outdoor duel earlier this season.
That was
I mean,
sweet. I went to that.
Did you? How was that?
It was awesome. It just really made me be thankful that that's where I went.
Is there something where you watch something like that, and I mean, can you picture yourself being out there in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever it takes to get you to the varsity level?
Yeah, I could see myself. It would be crazy. It would be so much fun.
And then just, I mean, goals-wise for you, obviously you said your goal is to win it here, but I mean, long-term wrestling-wise, I mean, what do you see? I mean, if there's a list of things you want to make sure get done for you as a wrestler, what would you want that to be?
Right now I'm focusing on state. There's not much that I want to look into the future for because I don't know exactly what the future is going to hold for me. But, I mean, for right now I'm on short-term goals, and state is the only one.